Okay, so today you join me in my new favourite spot in all the forests. I know I mentioned my original favourite spot and I never found anything like it, but I found a new spot, new area in the forest, and it's it's just perfect anyway. And yeah, so I wanted to make a video on this. There's not any topic about anything, but for the first time I'm going to be making coffee using my Moka pot on the Firebox out in the forest, grinding the coffee and everything. And because I'm already doing that, I'm gonna make some lunch or whatever. I've got eggs, bacon. I forgot the toast. Anyway, that'd be fine. Let's just do this coffee or whatever. I reckon I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing this because coffee out in the forest, unheard of. In a Moka pot, I've got my luxury Moka pot by Joy Resolve, where you can properly see the coffee come up and everything. So it's gonna be well nice. Let's get this coffee going. This is my new grinder by Alton and it's amazing. It's hella luxury. It's pretty good. So I've stored the coffee in the bottom part where the grounds come out, so you can see that. Now for Moka, I normally set it on 3. I found 3 to be the best. So I think we're gonna do that. Pour this in. Look at that, guys. Fresh, I don't know if you can see that very well or whatever. Fresh ground coffee. Also, you're gonna learn how to make the best mocha ever. Now, because this is on a different stove, maybe it won't be as good, I don't know. But, you know, I perfected it at my stove at home, but this one, I don't know how I'm gonna translate this, 'cause it's all about getting the right level of heat. But it's how we're gonna do it. I've been making mocha coffee for years, and this is the number one, this is the best strategy you want to be using. Okay, let's do it, guys. Oh, I didn't bring my distribution tool anyway. See that? It's a notch above espresso. So I don't know how, I don't want to be oh, it's like sand, rough sand, because no one's going to understand what level of sand that is. You need to be precise. But anyway, that was great. Spilling it everywhere. So we're just gonna pop the little thingy over like that. And then we'll want to even it out a bit before we take the lid off. Look at that, guys. Now, this is the most important part. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm too special. You know what, I'm gonna move everything out the way that I don't need to make this easier. Okay, so I hope you guys still see this, all right? Now I'm gonna get it all over the table. Why not? Okay, so now what you wanna do, you wanna get your water. Now I've heard some people say, oh, use pre-boiled water because it does it faster and it's better and it doesn't it doesn't cook the ground slowly as well because it's immediately pressurizing up. I've found that if you don't allow it to naturally pressurize from cold water, it just shoots through and it makes it worse than if you were to just do cold water. So fill it up to, in your pot, you'll have a little valve, safety valve there. Fill it up just so it's touching the bottom of it. So I'm going to do that now. Look at that, perfect. And then put it on the stump over there. You want to get a knife, a flat knife, and you basically just want to even it out. So you don't want to tamp or compress it at all. Now I know I know there's a bit of wastage here. I didn't want to take too little with me when I went out. Like that. So you get a puck like that, which is perfectly even and no, it's not pressure tamped at all. Get your little thingy. Now this is another important part. You wanna put it on so you wanna put it firmly on. So you should have I have for everything a natural torque wrench in my hand, so I can naturally feel that's the perfect amount of tightness there. If I keep doing it, it's just gonna start to break it, or you're not gonna get it off. But you want that seal to be proper sealed, so you're not losing any pressure. You want all the pressure to be contained inside here, because that's what's going to like draw it through and, you know, make the coffee. If you have pressure leaking from the seal, even if like, you do it tightly but it's not like proper tight, not saying like, you know, it's overly tight, you saw how I did that, you're going to have a constant pressure drop even if it builds pressure. So as it's shooting through you, it's going to be constantly losing pressure, so it's not going to have this proper espresso extraction. Now it's time to put it on the stove. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to blue flame mode, like that. So we're going to like put it on the stove, you know, put that up to help with wind. Now what you want is at medium low heat, so you want like that. So like there's low heat on your stove, medium and high, and you want it to be in between low and medium, which intuitively I'm just going to say is that. And you just put it on. Isn't that cool, guys? Making fancy coffee out in the forest. So as you see there, you want, when the coffee starts coming out, to come out slowly like that. You don't want it to just start shooting out like a rocket. It's supposed to slowly extract just like that. It'd be better if it did it with, we could do with a little bit more heat, but the wind is blowing around the flame, so it's a bit hard to get it perfect. I'm going to turn up the flame a little bit just because it's struggling. Now you wouldn't in your house turn up the flame because it would have enough heat, but because the wind is blowing it around, it's a bit hard. And see how it's just slowly coming out? Now when it gets to halfway, we're going to turn it onto a low flame. So I'd say about there. And then when you know it's going to start spurting, cut the flame completely, because you don't want to go and just be spurting hot water out. If you look at that, see that part? You don't want that to be too much, but see how that entire process was so gentle and slow? You don't want to be like just like a volcano. Otherwise you're not getting coffee, you're just getting brown hot water. All right, guys, let's try it out. Oh, Teddy. All right, so we've also got, let's get my cup, some milk to go with it, even it out. Look at this, guys, perfect. I think I'll leave that in there just because that's where it starts to get a bit gritty. I've got my bottle of milk here, look at this. This is amazing. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna get the breakfast on now. All right, let's do these eggs, guys. You know how we do it. Actually, while I do the eggs, because they're going to cook way faster, get the bacon on. Now, I don't have my fucking olive oil spray can anymore because Brad used the entire bottle during our cooking 100 steaks video where he just went mental, burning the entire forest down. So we don't have any of that anymore. Whoa, Teddy. Whoa, look at that. Now, because some of that's just too long, I'm going to cut it. And we got 3 eggs. We're gonna have lots of scrambled eggs this afternoon. Oh, Ted's gone into a little cave spot. Cooking up the bacon, guys, let's go. For some reason it's decided to slant the stove. Try and sort that out. Look at this, guys, couldn't get any better. You know what, I might add the salt and pepper to the bacon. Maybe I'll just do salt for bacon early, because maybe it will like marinate more in. Don't worry, guys, I'll do both sides. Wait for it to cook. Smells so good. Ted's fallen asleep again. Don't know if you can see her. It's like this bug that keeps flying around my head. It won't leave me alone. Makes no sense. And normally there's no bugs here in the forest ever. In this woods or whatever forest part. Oh yeah, look at that. That one's still attached a little bit. Can't have that, that's bang out of order. Separate them. Look at that. Mint, guys, mint. You know what I forgot as well as the bread? Honestly, it's because I was probably getting distracted by all the coffee nonsense. A plate. Now, obviously I can eat it out of the pan, but there's a lot of, like, I've got to cook eggs in that as well. I'll probably like get the bacon cooked like 90% of the way, no, like 80%, something like that, so I can chop it easy, you know, chop into strips and then cook it with the eggs. How does that sound? And then it'll work like that, won't it? I've got to say, I'm liking the whole gas setup. Only having to do it with gas, that's pretty easy and nice. Also, it's my first time having like nice coffee out of the forest. It's a luxury. Ted's conked out, absolutely hammered the poor animal. Yeah, you can see her. What is she doing, guys? Basically, I'm trying to get that camera level. The camera level, I think I've done it, but it's a bit difficult. Bacon's looking pretty mental right now. Oh, it's crisping up and shit. Bacon on this side just isn't cooking, which is bloody annoying. Maybe it's because the heat isn't even enough or something's going on there. Start chopping it up, just in little bits like that. Mate, this is gonna be so good, having diced bacon in eggs that's like cooked in the forest. Look at that, I've got diced bacon for the first time. I wanna cook the bits. I wanna focus on getting the bits that just aren't really cooked to that stage where I can put the eggs on, you know? It's definitely got enough heat, the flame's pumping it. Imagine being homeless and just doing this all the time. Like, the more I see what you've gotta do to live a normal life where like you have a house, and a job and whatever, the more living homeless in a tent in the forest seems appealing to me. Like, if I've got to work a horrible job to like full time, like in my use my best years just to afford accommodation so I can keep working that job in a vicious cycle. Oh, Ted's woken. Oh, you're funny, Ted. And then so I have no time to, you know, prepare good food from scratch, and then I'm eating shit food. And I can't ever be in nature, so I've got to be working full time to afford the accommodation for the job. You know, I'd rather be f***ing homeless in a tent. Oh, there you go, Teddy, you can have that. Guys, I gave Ted some bacon for her to enjoy. Look at that. I can make an omelette right now, but I want scrambly. Look at that, kind of big knife and fork. Real badass right now. Real hard man going on. Hashtag hardman vibes, hashtag Croydon vibes, hashtag UK roadmen, hashtag knife crime. Look at this, how it's already scrambling, isn't that mint? Guys, a bushcraft knife, carving knife can be used for anything. Like, when I move to New Zealand, I'm gonna be sorted for cooking. I'm already gonna have my like cast iron, you know, pots and pans, so I'm gonna eat and like cutlery and everything, so I'm gonna be sorted. The only thing I'm gonna have to worry about is like bedding or something, but you know, I'm gonna have like a sleeping bag and whatever for the start. You know, I'm gonna be fine, guys. If I was trying to go down the normal route of like, I want a house with a white picket fence and a lawn and 5 kids and all that bollocks, then I'll be worried, because that's a lot of suffering I've got to go through to attain such crap and stress. Like, if the one thing in life I want is peace above all else, peace. Loads of money isn't going to give me that. Loads of friends, people around me isn't going to give me peace. Having a house, having bills isn't going to give me peace. You know, basically stuff outside of myself, whatever that is, isn't going to give me peace, which is the one thing above all else I want. So I think I'm going to have a pretty simple and nice life. Look how it's already scrapped. Cut the flame. It's got enough heat. It's on the cast iron pan, guys. Look at this. Look at that diced bacon. Oh, mate, fucking can't help it. I need to like get better with what I bring. Like, I have some parsley in this. I could have all sorts of. Where's my salt and pepper? I forgot. Now, I know some of you guys like your eggs lightly done, you know. You like them heavily wet, sloshy eggs, Michelin star style. I appreciate that, but I'm cooking for myself today, so take inspiration wherever you will wish. I don't know what I was saying there. Jesus Christ. That's too good. Teddy, even Teddy's freaking out. Silly dog. You've got the sneezes now. I think I'm just gonna start eating it off of this, because it's a nice raised platform, perfect for eating stuff off of. And I've got my tissue in my pocket, clean out my carving knife. Yeah, any of you guys wanna do like outdoor stuff, this will do everything. Food, wood. This is basically all in one: an axe, a kitchen knife, fruit knife, a spatula, a carving knife to make more cutlery, a fire starter with the flint, and to carve, to make a feather stick from embers or whatever. Fire poker, fire managing tool. Yeah, I use this for everything. Get one of these, get it on the hip belt, boom. You're loaded, mate. You're like a forest cowboy. Oh, Ted, let's have a go at this. Let's have a little go at this, Teddy. Oh, mate. I can easily picture myself doing this in the forest with this exact same cast iron, definitely, because cast iron lasts for generations. And yeah, maybe even this firebox, because unless it just warps into like a spastic pile of slag, you know, I keep using it. And I'll be able to say to like my kids or future whatever mates, whatever, this is the when I'm like 80 or whatever, this is the pan I used when I was 19. Back in 2025, like a fucking old fart waffling away. People my age, guys, remember, you may think, oh, you know, we're living in the time right now, like we're living in the future, like we've got all the smartphones and all that, we're highly techie. Guys, we're living in the olden times. When we're like 40 and we've got families, or when we're like 60 and like we're retired or whatever, like we're like, you know, what is it? Retired old people in care homes, you know, what we're thinking is like the time right now. Like this is the olden days. I'm effectively living in the olden days right now with like the iPhone 16 and my camera and coffee grinder and everything. Like people are probably gonna have Star Trek replicators and shit where food just spawns out of nowhere. And they were like, what? You went out in the forest with a coffee grinder and you grind your food, but you grinded your coffee with a machine. God, that's so old fashioned. I just press a button and it just materializes out of thin air. And like we're thinking right now, like my generation, God, we've got AI and all this futuristic shit. We're living in the time right now. And it's like, guys, we're not. We're living in the old fashioned time right now. We're gonna have like AI with full on consciousness. In fact, that's the one thing missing from AI and ChatGPT right now. It's the one thing I want ChatGPT to have, consciousness. That's the one thing it's missing. And I've said that like from the start, that if that's one thing I'd add, it's consciousness and independence and free will. Oh, there you go. Also, if I were to be God, another thing I would do is remove all, like, I don't know what to call it, but gunpowder, live fire ammunition. So like all guns, all bombs, all are like artillery, all weapons that like use combustion, like gunpowder, like, you know what I mean, like explosive sort of thing. So there'd be no machine guns, no bullets, no bombs, no nuclear bombs, none of that. I'd just like, if I was God, I'd just like click my fingers and remove all of them from the entire world. Like imagine if I did that. Like I keep knives and everything, you know, whatever, London, you can keep stabbing each other. But imagine if like all of that just disappeared from the world instantly. Like, oh, there'd be a freak out or whatever, but like, because I'm God, I'd be like, oh, I did it, guys. Pull your shit together. Everyone, like there'd be no Iraqi war, like there'd be no religion war, that'd be just done because you can't blow yourself up or shoot each other. Like I wonder if there would just be entire world peace. Like how could you be like, how could like the US be like against China and they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna blow you up, oh, we're gonna kill each other, oh, I'm gonna do it. How could you do that when you've got no weapons? Like no one would go back to invading each other by boat with a massive armada of spears. I reckon that'd like solve a lot of the world's problems. Ted, you're really close, mate. I need a bigger apparatus for eating my food. I'm not done yet, Teddy. Like imagine if that happened, how cool it would be. Or maybe, like because all Americans have a huge gun problem, like they just can't figure it out. It's actually, like when I was little, I was like, oh God, it's such a shame. America's the only place where you can just legally have guns everywhere. Like it's such a shame there's no guns anywhere in the world. Like the whole of Europe, gun ban, UK gun ban, you know, New Zealand, Australia, gun ban. All these other countries except Saudi Arabia, you know, all first world countries, citizens aren't allowed guns unless it's like a firing range or it's like a fake, it's like a replica, but it's a BB gun. And those two don't count. And you just see like all the crime involving in America, it's just got a massive deadly weapon, like all traffic stops, all just even normal shit, like it's domestic violence call out. It's like a cop, you're getting shot up with a deadly weapon. That just is unheard of in the rest of the world practically, isn't it? So yeah, it's a shame America has that etched into their whatever founding rules of the country. If I were to do that, do the God, remove all the live fire ammunition crap, do you think all the Americans would just freak out and just immediately turn to knives, and then all the guns would be replaced with knives, and then they're just like, instead of shooting each other, just keep stabbing each other? Like it'd be like the UK, but it'd be like the fucking Council House Croydon, London, but across the whole of America. Maybe it would be like that, maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe if I were to do that, that would have mad karmic consequences, and the world would instantly turn into like hell. I don't know. I also wonder, these are just random thoughts that I have in my brain, my stupid brain, when I'm just like, what would happen if the sky does a bit like just shit like that? Another one I have is, what would happen if like I stole, like the same way Star Trek has replicators, if I stole that technology from like, not stole it, but like convinced the aliens to give it to me and then distributed that and across the entire world. Like capitalism and what is it called? Communism and all desirable needs, etc., whatever, they would just disappear. Like first of all, currency will just disappear because why do you need to buy anything? Why would you be like, oh, I want that car so bad, when you could just have like a big replicator and just materialize it out of thin air? If I just made humanity skip the entire evolution process up to that technology, like were to give that to everyone, would everyone just like freak out? Like obviously I'd put restrictions on it, like high level restrictions, so like you couldn't make any weapons, including like offensive knives and stuff. Like a bushcraft knife like that's like 5 inches, like whatever, or a kitchen knife. Not like, I'd have like a highly advanced AI that'd be able to figure it out. And because the AI and the security technology would be like, you know, whatever, 1,000 to 500 years in the future, there'd be absolutely no chance of us at our current technological level being able to crack that or reverse engineer it, because it'd be just so out of the world. I'd also make it if like you were to attempt to take apart the technology or replicator, it would blow up to stop you from doing that. So you wouldn't be able to make drugs, weapons, you know, bombs, stuff like that, highly like dangerous chemicals, stuff like that. So everyone would immediately have all their, you know, shitty desires. Oh, I have them really nice car, or I have all the gold in the world, I have all whatever rubbish. Like, would everyone just immediately like spiritually advance? Like, would they immediately become like fucking highly awakened, like, oh, I no longer desire which is not within myself and all this crap? Like, would they like finally be, you know, or would they just like, yeah, like because like everyone would immediately transcend the desire for material or possessions outside of themselves. And like, no one would have to work anymore, would they? Because in like the Star Trek universe or whatever, because they have replicators, there's no currency, and it's like some utopia where you don't have to work, but like everyone just works their dream job because like, you know, there's no currency, you know, you don't get anything from working. It's just like, you just desire and want to do it, you know? And like not working or just not doing anything is just a frowned upon thing in that society. I wonder if like that would happen here. Like you'd still need people to, I don't reckon, like even, you wouldn't need people to, like the essential people to keep society running, like the electricity people and the gas people and the police people, because you could just have a force field, you could just replicate a battery to power your house, you could just replicate a gas bottle or whatever. Would everyone just, yeah, I wonder what, maybe guys, I will in the future contact aliens and convince them to give me that technology and just start, you know, fucking up the entire world doing shit like that. You reckon that'd be funny, Ted? You reckon that'd be a lol? You reckon that'd be top 10 most silly human moments? Also, what would also be really, like, this is another imagination thing. What would also be funny, or like, not funny, but like interesting or cool? What would happen if like, as a collection consciousness on the planet, like everyone suddenly just like, for whatever bizarre, like, God, whatever reason you want to come up with, maybe like God spoke through everyone's minds and woke them up, whatever crap you want to come up with for the story. But what if like everyone, however way it would have to transpire, were to collectively, like everyone on the planet just go, nah, f this, I'm gonna do what I want. But like everyone were to do that, even like all the government, like maybe not even the government, maybe there'd be like a bunch of people, but like 90% of people. So that would also include all the the vast majority of military, police, you know, organisations, stuff like that. So the world government and authorities wouldn't be able to control it or stop it or put a lid on it, because the authorities themselves would go, ah, f this. The police themselves would go, ah, I'm just going to do what I want, working a job or, you know, running the script. And like society would just immediately collapse. Everyone would just stop cooperating and doing it they're told. No one will be able to stop it. Like, would it just become like an apocalyptic event where it's like a zombie apocalypse, or like would everyone just be like harmonious or something and like just like provide or give to everyone or like you know, I'll be a farmer, would it like return to the old days? I don't know. You know what's funny about the old days? Like how everyone like says, oh, back then everything was so much easier. Oh, back then like it was a hard life, but like living in a log cabin, like working on a farm or whatever, you know, whether in the 1900s or, you know, an old Western America, that life, oh, those simple life was so much easier, even though it was a bit hard. Don't you think it's funny how everyone like agrees or like thinks that when right now in modern society, we're supposed to be living in the easiest time ever with everything, like, doesn't that mean that in reality, in present day with technology and everything, and the way you've got to live, that it isn't the most easiest and comfortable because of like all the stress and demands, and that like obviously it's way more easier just to like in the olden days, the 1700s, whatever, you couldn't really screw up because like, I'm just gonna stop talking, I'm running my mouth too much. People are gonna get too intellectual and start taking this apart bit by bit and be like, oh well, actually a lot of people died to less advancements and medication, and they're just not gonna, you know, appreciate. No point. It's no point. It's no point. I give up. No. I'm sorry, Ted, but I can't give orders to you. Look at that, guys. I didn't even have to use my spatula because that's how good my carving knife is. Look at that, guys. Hardly, like, basically no coffee ground sediment at the bottom. Perfect. That's a 10. That was the best coffee you could get from a Moka pot. I mean, you could see how it's extracting. I mean, it was probably like a little bit too slow at the beginning, but how gently that extracted. Like, it obviously looks the way it came out that, you know, that's good coffee. God, I can't wait to camp out here. Like, this looks like such a deer spot, you know, where like all the deer come out, like having like a old kerosene lantern or whatever they call it, and just being out here with a campfire, you know. That's gonna be really cool. Okay, Ted. Now, I don't want you to get this pan all disgusting, so I'm gonna give you like a little, look at that. We can make a little temporary table here, can't we? Wait, yeah, look at this, guys. How multifunctional the stove is. So we can serve some leftovers to Ted. I wonder if you can get like a battery powered, you could probably get like a battery powered mini blender, and like I could make a smoothie out here. Wouldn't that be sick? Morning smoothie or something. Or I'll just straight up spunk all my money on like an expensive power bank and bring a proper household blender out here and like do it like some weirdo with a proper household blender. Look at that. I know it looks poor and sad and like not enough, but little dog, she'll shit herself and vomit otherwise. She's happy with that. Teddy, wait a minute. W meal, chat, W meal, let's go. So, that was awesome actually. I've got like leftover like milk science, so I can just chug that. Super good. Guys, the more I like do more self-introspection and like, you know, just being and just consciously observing everything, desires or everyone else's desires or like what's going on, like just shutting up and observing it, the more like simpler and better it gets. Oh, Ted, look at that, you made it all dirty, mate. That like this life is going to be pretty easy. All you've got to do is just surrender and let go of all the external outside bullshit, because that just causes and leads to suffering. Like all of the, like, it doesn't matter what it is outside of yourself, it leads to suffering while you don't have it, because you're like, oh, I want that so bad, I'm incomplete without it. And even once you've had it, it's like, oh, I need more. Like you make $1 million, like I've got $1 million, how do I expand the business? How do I make more of it? I've got $1 million, how can I invest it and be smart about it and make more of it, you know? And so that leads to more suffering, because now you want more and that wasn't enough, and it's just like, yeah, like if you just like chill out. Guys, maybe if we just be a human being instead of a human doing, maybe if like we actually be what we've named ourselves, like, come on guys, we've named ourselves human beings and we're being human doings. Maybe if we be what we're supposed to be, human beings instead of human doings, we won't be so upset, depressed, stressed, suffering all the time. Ooh, oh my God, actually be a human being instead of a doing? What the fuck? You crazy tapped motherfucker. Get out. Look at this, guys. This is just too good, isn't it, Ted? Dream life right now. I've only got 12% battery, so the video might die before I can say goodbye or something. Yeah, so what I was saying about with how living in a tent, homeless in the forest, is more appealing to me than living in a house and having a bunch of money, stuff, and working a job and like having it all, you know, being a millionaire. Is that like when you begin to consciously recognize that like all of this crap in the world that is supposed to be so amazing that like you dedicate your life and submit your entire existence to it. Once you like realize all those things outside of yourself, whether it's like services, lifestyle things, whatever, it's just crap, you know, it's just rubbish. The path of existence, the path to the way of living to obtain all of that, just like it takes away all the reason and all the purpose of it. If you finally recognize and figure out, oh, having a really nice car is going to make me really happy for a year, and then it's just going to be normal life, and I'm going to want the next best thing, or X amount of suffering and work and whatever you got to do to get that car, or whatever X, you know, whatever you can replace the car, whatever it is you want, is here. The cost of obtaining that thing is here compared to the reward of getting it. Like if you have it on a 2-bar graph, there's the base of the bar graph, the reward of the thing, and then the cost to get it. And that includes like the whatever bullshit currency price and all the work and suffering you had to go to get that. That's what becomes apparent. And then once you've got that idea, it's like, well yeah, whatever. Of course, like I want that thing, but the cost of getting that doesn't make it worth it, you know? It's like if someone were to say, if Apple were to be like, the new iPhone 17 Pro Max, it only costs your left bollocks or whatever, it only costs your right arm, you know, who would buy that? You know, who's gonna give? Maybe some infertile trans freak with gender misidentity, maybe they can chop their bollocks off for a fucking iPhone. That's like 2 people in the entire planet maybe. But who's gonna buy that? That's the same thing when you just understand the true reality for whatever. Oh, Ted, I'm really tired. Guys, it's getting pretty cold. I'm getting pretty cold, guys. Look at that. I think maybe I'll make it a hotter flame because it's gotten cold, guys. In the canopy, this is a very dense forest. Like maybe I'll make it halfway between 2. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video here because if I keep running my mouth, I'm gonna get banned from YouTube. I'll see you in my next video, and that's gonna be it. I don't have anything to waffle. I'm surprised YouTubers these days, or whatever you call them, have so much shit to waffle and rant about. Be like blah 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 for the outro, and the outro section is like a good 3 minutes. Like, shut up. Anyway, cut. Oh, I fucked it up. I'm going to hell.